Lords. And following a long campaign, including this recent meeting, Labour also succeeded in a small step towards a so-called Hillsborough Law, passing an amendment on a duty of candour for police aimed at preventing future cover-ups. The fight for a public advocate to represent bereaved families and other aspects goes on. Maria, I'll come to you first on this. The latest on that push for the Public Advocate Bill. You were heartened last year when Robert Buckland talked about it. Where are we up to with that?
Well, we're a bit stalled, to be honest. The government objected to the bill again last Friday. It's back in next Friday, and I'm hoping that this coming Friday they might allow the bill through. The meeting that I was promised by the Prime Minister before Christmas with the Minister in the Ministry of Justice has been delayed. I'm hoping that it will go ahead this week. I know that the government are working on responding to the Bishop of Liverpool, James Jones's report from 2017, but this is already 33 years on after the disaster almost, and 4 years since the Bishop James did his report to Theresa May's government, and yet we haven't seen any progress yet from the government. Now, I'm hoping, because there is some cross-party support for this, it would be entirely a good thing for any families caught up in public disasters in the future, not just as a legacy for the Hillsborough Families Fantastic campaign. It would be an entirely good thing for these proposals to go forward. And I am still hoping that we can persuade the government to do them if we can get their minds off all of the distractions that they're inflicting upon the country in the interim.
Scott, why is it, more than the Conservatives, Labour are pushing these amendments, the duty of candour amendment? It seems that should just be there. It should be expected to be there. Why did Yvette Cooper have to put that amendment in?
Well, I don't think that's the case. The government are taking this issue incredibly seriously. So the Home Office are coordinating a cross-departmental response to Bishop James Jones's report. We're working and engaging with the families to make sure we get that right, and I would expect that report to be issued over the next few months. In terms of a duty of candour, that's an interesting idea for the amendment, but let's not forget that the government have already passed in February 2020 a duty to cooperate for serving police officers, which actually goes above and beyond the duty of candour which was in the amendment. So in terms of the integrity and openness of policing, we are already making substantial reforms in that which address the vast majority of the detail of the amendment.
But the duty of cooperation, did it go far enough? It's this need
well,
for
it goes further than the duty of candour, which was in Maria's amendment. So I think the government are taking this issue seriously, and I would expect not only Maria's meeting to happen shortly, but for the government to come back to Parliament with a full recommendation.
Do you agree with that, Maria, on the duty of candour?
No, it's not enough. We need a proper Hillsborough Law that deals with many aspects of this. I don't think that half measures are anywhere near enough, and they won't do the job. And what I'm hoping to persuade the government of is that they need to take forward a separate Hillsborough Law that contains all of Bishop James's proposals, which were made as long ago as 2017, which contain the measures in respect of the public advocate. And they package that up as a Hillsborough Law so that in future, families caught up through no fault of their own in public disasters do not have to face the horrendous decades of fight that the Hillsborough families have had to face. And that will be a proper legacy for them, and it will be a useful thing for those through no fault of their own caught up in disasters in the future. But it's not enough to just have the occasional change to a bill, a Christmas tree bill that's going through Parliament. This has to be separately done, thought through and implemented with guts and with intent. And that's what we're not seeing at the moment from the government. But I hope that we will be able to see that from the government, from whichever government ends up in power, in due course. The sooner the better. It's been far too long already.